Back to Mars, back to Gale Crater, and today we're looking at SOL 37. I've got a double Gigapan here. I've got the raw one at the top and a basically enhanced one at the bottom. It's been colour corrected and brightened up, and this is the Mars boat with number plate. Now, I initially published this in 2014. I've got links on here to the original video. If you click on this one, it will take you to the original video. This one here. There's a link up there. Okay, so this will take you to the original videos. Now, in the original video, I think I probably got the size wrong. I said this was about 30 feet long, maybe 40. It's actually 50. How do I know that? Well, luckily, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter took an image of the rover, and this was taken in 2015. Okay, so I did an update on this already back then, because it shows it from above. This is really cool. I've got the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter image, the MRO image, in my software here, but I'm just going to show the Gigapan first, then we'll have a look at the overhead shot from the satellite image, okay, which is really interesting. Now, basically, let's look at the enhancement first. We have a boat, and it's not in very good shape. It's got a lot of damage to it, but it's actually, considering it could be many thousands of years old, is in pretty good shape. It may not be many thousands of years old. It may only be hundreds of years old. I don't know. But basically, we're told that the water in this area evaporated or dried out millions and millions of years ago, but I don't think it did. And I've got plenty of evidence for that on my channel, because a lot of the finds I've got may look very fresh, but they're probably around 10,000 years to 20,000 years old. A lot of the preserved remains and stuff look remarkably good. So this could be anything between 100 and 100,000 years old, possibly a million years old, I don't know. But I'm guessing a bit newer than that, okay? Sort of around the 10,000 year sort of mark. And basically we got a boat with a number plate on the front, and these numbers are not painted on. These are three-dimensional numbers. In other words, these are actually stuck onto the number plate or carved onto it, or carved out of it, okay? So we've got a number plate there, and unlike the original clip that I've got here, now this is the original clip I did back in 2014, which is a bit harsh and over-sharpened, but it does show you the numbers quite clearly, if they are numbers, here. And the plate, the number plate, comes around like this. But what it doesn't show you is something I found by doing this a bit more carefully this time. I took a lot more time over it. I was working on this all day yesterday. Now it looks a bit muddy, but the colours are very muddy in these images. But basically, I've noticed this time, by being a bit more careful with it, that there's a round object attached to the front of the boat here, which may be a winch or something, or a light, or who knows what that is. It may even be for mooring it to a dock side, like I don't know what you call that, like a mooring kind of loop or something like that. Okay? Now, interestingly enough, if you look over here, there is what looks like a mooring. And I'll show you this in context in a second. This, I thought initially, was another boat, but buried. Just here. You see the top of it here, and the front or back here, and the front or back there. I don't know which way this is orientated, and it's not very clear, but what there is on here, which I've managed to drag out of this detail, are what looks like some kind of chain or loop hanging over the side of this thing. So it's got parts hanging over with what is possibly a mooring loop, like a metal ring, iron perhaps, okay? Now, if you go down to any dock side in pretty much anywhere in the world, you will have these along the dock side, especially in commercial docks, where you will have these huge kind of bollards on the side of the dock, and they often have these big rings attached to them. Now, when you moor your ship or boat, what you do is throw the rope over the bollard or thread it through the loop here and tie up. So this is like a mooring, okay? And if I show you the actual enhanced image here, the basically enhanced one. We've got the boat here. Now, you don't have to enhance this to see those numbers, right? This is enhanced. Let me show that, actually, I'll show you the raw version here. Now, if you let your eyes adjust, you can see the 2, the 9, and the S shapes there. I'm not saying that's what they are, but they're shaped like that, okay? I'm just using that as a reference. You can see the 2.9S, and you can see the boat, even in the raw image. It's very muddy, it's not very clear. The orange filter has done its best to camouflage everything in this area, as it always does, but all you have to do is colour correct the image, like this one. I use fade correction, set to number 1 in my software, and that instantly clears it up, and then you can just play with the contrast until you get some more clarity out of it. And that's all I've done here. You can see it quite clearly, 2.9S, and there's the boat. Now, the boat actually isn't this long, it's longer. It comes right over to about here somewhere, but the back end of it is very vague. You really need to push the contrast to see it, but it is there. The back end of it, for some reason, looks like it's either been obfuscated or it's just the way the light's hitting it differently there, because this is kind of buckled. And if you look at the other enhancement I've got here, you can see this buckle here. It's been kind of bent, and the back end is much lighter for some reason because it's at an angle and catching the sun at a different angle. So the shadows are heavier on the front section here and lighter on the back section because it's partially broken and collapsed. In the MRO image here, I've worked out the exact size, and now there will be links to this below, by the way, in the description, okay? I've worked out the size of this. Now, this area here is Gale Crater. This is the same spot, right? We even got these light coloured deposits around it which show up from the ground. But we can't see a lot of this because it's out of shot. Now, there's the rover, right? And there's the boat, there. And I've highlighted it here, and I've measured it. Now, this entire image represents 500 meters across. That's what it says on the page from NASA. So I've worked out the exact size, that this thing is 15 meters long, okay? Now 15 meters long is just over 49 feet. It may be a little bit less or a little bit more than that, but that's approximately what it is. So I measured it from here to here. So it's probably 50 feet because it's at an angle. If we were to straighten this out, it'd probably be a bit over 50 feet, maybe 52, because it's obviously not straight. I'm measuring it from this point here to here, but actually it'd be longer that way. So I'd say it's about 53 feet or 55 feet, okay? Something in that region, give or take a foot or two, okay? So, I mean, that's a pretty accurate measurement, and you're not going to get a lot more accurate than that by looking at these aerial shots, because they are not exact measurements they've given us. They are approximate to start with. But I did work it out quite carefully, and I even looked up and converted it into feet here from 15 meters. It's probably more like 16 meters, which will take it over. Let's go to 16. What will that make it? Yeah, 52 and a half feet. That's probably more like the actual measurement. So that's what I'm going to put in the description. Now, on the original videos, I said I think it was 30 or 40 feet long. So I was out a bit, but not bad considering. I only worked that out just by judgment rather than measuring it exactly, okay? So that wasn't too bad for an estimation. So there will be links to these other videos. So that was it really. I mean, basically what I'm trying to show you here is how clear it is to see without even doing anything to the image. And even in the raw image here, you can see, once you've seen it, you can actually see the shape of it here, the front coming out here. You've got this big rocky outcrop here that it's kind of crashed into, and the front end is kind of crushed in a bit, the bow, and the stern is very vague, but you can see this lighter bit coming to here and then coming down to here. And there's some other details back here which may also be part of it that we can't see very well, but it looks more like something else behind it, okay? And if we go to the enhanced one down here, let's see what else. It's a very different luminosity here, so I don't think that is joined, this thing here. I think that's a butte, or possibly another boat behind it. But it's very, very vague, And this one comes to about here. You can see like a curve coming down and the back end here. And a darker thing there. That may be an engine, this darker part, but I couldn't really make it out in the image. It's very pale and pasty, unfortunately. So I've only really enhanced the front end, or the main part of the boat, which is from here to about here, as you can see, right? So this is the problem when you have low quality images from NASA. You're losing data straight away because the camera zoomed in from quite a long way off, and basically miles away it was when it took this photograph. So this is taken from a distance of 3 or 4 miles, perhaps. Now, if you look at the Rover image in the MRO image, it's right over here. Now, on this day, I think this was SOL 900 and something, this was taken. The Rover didn't actually see the boat from there because it's in a little valley here, and basically it can't see over this kind of material here on the ground. But what the Rover did do, when it was around this area up here, it took images from SOL 37 way back over here, which would have been right over here somewhere, right? And it took images from there, right? And if you look at this prominent feature here, I think that's what we're seeing in the Gigapan. This thing here, the Rover was right over here to the left, and it was zoomed right across here with the camera lens, telephoto lens. It zoomed right across and was taking a photo of this area, and the boat just happened to be there on SOL 37. Okay, this is a bit complex, so I'm trying to get across here. And so you see this bright area here, which has got a yellowy greenish tinge to it. It's kind of browny yellowy. This is sand, and that corresponds, I think, to this area down here at the bottom. This is the sand, and this may not look very far from here, but in fact this is about 1 kilometre away, about 1,000 meters from here to there. It's a long way off. So there we are, there it is. I mean, it's a boat with a number or letters or something, glyphs or whatever you want to call them on the front, and it's right there. And this is one of the clearest anomalies ever found on Mars in Gale Crater. And what's cool about this one, we've got a satellite image to back it up, which gives us an extra dimension. And it says here, yeah, the width of the image is 500 meters. So you can, if you download this, you can work out the width and length of the boat from the size of the image. This is good evidence, and it's good evidence I've had for a long time. And I just thought I would put this one up because it's one of my favourite finds, this one. And the fact that we have what looks like a mooring here, just here, with a possible metal kind of loop or mooring there, makes this even more interesting. Okay, and you can see that just here. It's pretty vague in the raw image, but you can see that loop thing hanging down just there. If you let your eyes adjust, you can just about make it out. So if you take a clip of that and brighten the hell out of it, add some contrast, you will see it. So use fade correction or color correction of some sort, and you will see that. And you can see it down here pretty well, but you can see it obviously better in the one that I've enhanced because I've really darkened it up and brightened it up at the same time, and it's pushed it out, and you can see that loop hanging down. That looks like a mooring. So we have a boat near a mooring on the edge of the lake here. Or not in the edge, this is the middle of the lake actually, but it looks like the edge from here. It doesn't look very far away, but this is a long way from this pile of rocks here to there. So that's quite a long way off. And the Rover, when it took the SOL 37 image, was right back here somewhere, over here, in this area. And it was probably on one of these higher ridges up here, looking across and down into the lake bed where all this dark blue sand is. Now some people say this is water. It's not, it's sand. You can actually see it's sand. But that doesn't mean there isn't water here. Around the other side of the mountain, Aeolus Mons or Mount Sharp, there is a very deep area. The deepest part is 4,700 meters below the surface of Mars. This area is about 4,500 meters below. So it goes down another 200 meters, but it's right round the other end of Mount Sharp. And I think there's a thermal vent there where there's water coming up from the ground, and it's hot water. But of course, because the atmosphere is so thin, that it's just vaping off very quickly and boiling away. But I would bet your bottom dollar that there's life in there, of like crustaceans and stuff like that, living off possible sulfur and other minerals in the water that's coming up from the thermal vent underground. Okay, but unfortunately the rover's nowhere near that, but that's where they should have landed, really. So there we are. We got the rover from space, we got a boat from space here. Let me just brighten this up for you, because it's a bit dark. Let's go really bright on that, and then add a bit of contrast in, just to make it work better. There we are. There's the boat. There it is. And you've got the white deposits next to it, and the more sort of light blue stuff on the ground, which is the deposits from the lake bed. And then we've got a rover over here, but it didn't take the photo on that day because these ridges were in the way. But this is the ridge we can see. Okay, so that was it really. And do check out these other videos. I mean, basically, I did a video called Mars Ship Confirmed from Space. This was back in 2015. This one's had over 400,000 views, and this one explains it as well. But this also shows loads of other boats in the area, and things like chains and shipwrecks and all sorts of other things. And it's got loads of satellite images in here, and loads of other boats and ships seen from the area. And I actually drew around the boat here and highlighted it, so you can check that out in your own time. And this will all be linked from the Gigapan for you to check out, so you can check out these older videos. But do bear in mind that the size is wrong. Okay, it's more like 53 feet long and not 40 or 30 or 80, as I may have said in some other videos. Okay, but it could be somewhere like 60 or 70, because the MRO image is only an estimation from NASA. So if they're out by a few feet, then it could knock on, the effect could knock on quite a lot to the actual size of this. So, but I'm going with 53 feet for now, because that's the nearest I can get, because how else are we going to measure it? There it is. One of my favourite finds from 2014. A boat with a number plate and a mooring not far from it, with a mooring loop to tie your boat to. What more could you want? Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Do check out the links to the main Gigapan page. There's loads more of these to look at, and they've all got nice enhancements. A lot of them are new enhancements I've done, and lots of links to videos and other images and stuff like that as well. And you can get the raw images by clicking up here. This will take you to the raw images where it says Caltech here. Okay, so you can download the raw images yourself, and you can check this out. It's all above board, legally linked to all the stuff, has all the right attributions to NASA and everyone else, and is all cross-referenced. Okay, not only from the ground, but from space, from outer space. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon.